Welcome to our comprehensive stamped concrete training video series, where we'll guide you through the art and techniques of creating stunning stamped concrete surfaces. This is coming from Joe Interior-scapes. Whether you're a contractor, a DIY enthusiast, or someone looking to enter the world of decorative concrete, this series is your gateway to mastering the craft of stamped concrete. Throughout this series, we'll cover a wide range of topics, including pattern selection, surface preparation, color application, stamping techniques, and finishing touches. Stamped concrete offers endless possibilities for transforming ordinary surfaces into works of art. By learning these techniques, you'll be able to create captivating driveways, patios, walkways, and more, while adding significant value to your projects. This training video provides detailed, hands-on demonstrations, accompanied by clear explanations, so you can follow along and practice the techniques at your own pace. Follow us on this exciting stamped concrete training journey. Watch this video till the end for better result while following the soft copy handout. Ask questions if needs be.
Guys, my name is Joel, and we'll talk for today. We're talking about stamped concrete. This is coming from Joel Interior-scapes. So what is stamped concrete? Stamped concrete, it is often called texture or imprinted concrete. It replicates stones such as slates, flagstone, tile, brick, and even wood. The variety of patterns and color choice make it popular for beautifying patios, pool, deck, driveway, and more. Stamped concrete is normally used in commercial building. These are modern floors. They are used in commercial building, residential building, commercial building like offices, a place of industrial building as well. Because this stamped concrete, it is durable. They have strength. They can be used in road as well. It is because of its superior durability and weather resistance. Colored and stamped concrete, it is perfect. It is a perfect choice to bring the high-end look of stone, brick, wood to patios, pool deck, driveway, and courtyard. Okay, you have different materials in installing stamped concrete. This material includes stamp mats, what's called release agents, tamper, freshen trowel, booth loads, sand, acrylic sealer, edger, shiner, tamper, roller, soap, washing brush, cutting machine, and all. This material, this tool will be available on sites for the practical section. So what are the steps in installing stamped concrete? These steps, we have like 5 different steps in installing stamped concrete. The first steps include, before these steps, we have site reconnaissance, whereby you go to your site, you do your measurements, you do site measurements, whereby you measure from your length to breadth. We are getting to that as well. After that, you place your formwork. These are the formworks for installing before you install your stamped concrete. You place your formwork. After that, it depends on the place you are installing. Some places you are not using wire mesh. These are the reinforcements. Some places it won't. You are not permitted to use wire mesh because you have mass concrete. Mass concrete, they are just like footed floors whereby cars are not permitted on the floor. We have different different mix ratio for this concrete. We have 1:4, we have 1:36, we have 1:4, we have 1:48. So right now, with the practical, we'll be using 1:4, which is well strengthened concrete. So for the this wire mesh. First step, you install your wire mesh. Use the wire mesh. After installing your wire mesh, you pour your concrete. This is fresh concrete. You pour your fresh concrete with wire mesh. This wire mesh, you can use 10 mm for your wire mesh as well, depending on the strength you want your concrete to be. You can use 8 mm as well. After that, you apply your collard now. This is a collard now. This is the second step. You apply your collard now. Apply 2 mm thick or 2 layers. Normally, you apply 2 layers for collard now. So the third steps include applying your after applying your collard now, you apply your release agent. The release agent, apply all over the floor before imprinting. Release agent, the works of release agent, it helps in separating your stamp mat. This is stamp mat. The release agent helps to separate stamp mat from the concrete. It serves as separation techniques. We have different 2 types of release agents. We have the liquid release agent. The liquid release agent is used on walls, fences and all. The powder release agent is used on floor, which is the main stamp concrete we're talking about. Okay, the liquid solid powder release agent, that's what we'll be using for this practical. So after applying your release agent, you stamp. These are stamp mats we talked about the area. These are stamp mats. This all these material, all these tools will be made available on site for the practical section. This is your stamp mat. After applying your stamp mat, the pattern of the stamp mat will be created on your fresh concrete. These are still the fresh concrete. After that, you wash. After washing, you apply your protection, which is your final coat. This final coat, this apply 2 coats of sealer. It depends on the company you apply your sealer from. The final coat is it's an acrylic sealer. It helps to protect the concrete. I mean, it brings out the shiny, the glossy, what's it called? Glossy features of the concrete. The acrylic sealer brings out the glossy features of the concrete. So before you do your stamp concrete, you have site visitation, which is site recognizer, which site survey. The first thing you do before you install your stamp concrete, you are going to what's it called, a new site. You want to install stamp concrete in a new site. First thing you do is measurement. You take proper measurements and make any adjustments prior to starting the job. Make sure you take proper measurement, because your client is not paying you for the mistake you made, because any mistake you made, the mistake will be on you and the cost will be on you as well. That's why you have anything you do, make sure you take a proper measurement. Everything will be explained in the practical class as well. After taking the proper measurement, the second step, subgrade preparation. Subgrade preparation, it is called surface preparation. This surface, after installing your stamp concrete, it serves as subgrade. After applying your stamp concrete, it's subgrade. But before applying your stamp concrete, before stamp concrete installation, it is top surface preparation. This top surface preparation makes a big difference in the overall performance and structural integrity of the slab. This helps in structural integrity of the slab in the term of the strength. Because if your substrate is weak, if your top soil is weak, your stamp concrete will sink to the to the ground. That's why you have to make sure your top soil is well prepared before installing your before installing your stamp concrete. And the third step, plan out a band pattern, if any. If you are installing the stamp concrete, the pattern on the mat, make sure you plan it out. Make sure the border mat is not in place of the major mat. You know where your center mat is. You know where your major mat is, and you know where your border mat is. After that, set form material or expansion joint to correspond with the joint, the control joint. In stamp concrete, there's what we call expansion joint, there's what we call control joint. Expansion joint should be done in each in interval of 30 meters, depending on the area of the site you are installing. Control joint, this control joint, different installer makes mistake about control joint. Control joint is like you are pouring new concrete, fresh. You are pouring fresh, probably okay. You install stamp concrete yesterday, and following day you want to install another stamp concrete. You pour fresh concrete on the new concrete. The joint created, it is control joint. It serves as what's it called? It is also called weak joint as well, because the old concrete might not clog with the new fresh concrete. That's why you know where your control joint is. You know where your expansion joint is. This is the placing of formwork. We have two types of formwork. We have the metal formwork and we have the wooden formwork. Right now, this metal formwork, formwork depends on the thickness of your concrete. We have 3 inches thickness, and we also have 4 inches thickness. On this side they used 4 inches thickness. This formwork here is 4 inches thickness. Before doing that, you make sure you do the pegging. This peg helps the formwork to be in normal shape. And after that, before then, your stamp mat, you make sure you know where you are placing your stamp mat correctly. These two edges, these are the border mats. This design here, these are the border mats. Here you have the major mat here. By here you have the border mat here. This side, here is the major mat. You can place the center mat here. Your design, you can place the center mat here. major mat here. Here you have the border mat. So right now, this placing of reinforcements, these are what's it called, 8 mm reinforcement. This 8 mm reinforcement. On this side is not mass concrete. If this side is mass concrete, you wouldn't be using 8 mm reinforcement. We have wire mesh, we have 8 mm reinforcement, and we have 10 mm reinforcement. Using steel reinforcement bar or welded wire mesh are critical to providing structural function and support in the slab. This strengthens the slab as well. The main reason to include reinforcement in the slab is to help to control cracking. It helps to control cracking because the wire mesh and the 10 mm slab. It helps in control cracking. It will plug or the concrete together, and it prevents cracking. Provides structural capacity, increase impact resistance in case of any impact. The wire mesh increase the impact resistance. So the placing of concrete, people do make mistake while placing their concrete. Some installers they throw concrete on the on the place the place they want to install. Because if you are throwing on concrete tends to separate because you have the aggregates they use granite, cement, and sand. If you are throwing concrete, the mixture will tend to separate from each other. The granite will tend to separate from the sand, and also the cement will tend to separate. By this process will reduce the strength of the concrete. That's why we forbid throwing of concrete with shovel. If you are pouring the concrete, you are pour with your wheelbarrow. You place your wheelbarrow to where they are pouring. You pour with your wheelbarrow. The most common method for placing concrete is to have a ready struck pull or pull up to the placement area. If you are placing your concrete, if it is a big project, you have a ready mix, concrete mixer. They pour it at the exact place they want it done. It's not that you pour it here and you'll be using shovel to throw concrete, because this process weakens the concrete and it separates the concrete. And after that, after pouring your concrete, you prepare the surface as well. This surface preparation includes the shining. This process we use freshening trowel and we use blue float. This freshening trowel, it helps to, you have different mixture of concrete, which includes applying your 3/4 granite. If you are using 3/4 granite or more than that, if you are using granite stone, the freshening trowel, if you eat the freshening trowel helps in picking down the granite. It reduces the surface pores. It reduces the surface pore, and this blue float helps to shine the surface. The work done immediately following concrete placement is critical, since this is where you must create perfect canvas for decorative stamping. The most two important factors are the surface. It is that the surface is level to prevent any low or high spots. Make sure your surface is level. This blue float is done to make sure the surface is level, to reduce any pores on the surface. And after that, use your edger. Use the edger. The edger helps in designing the edges. To do the edges, it helps to make sure the edges are smooth without any sharp edges. And after that, after your surface preparation, you apply your color now. The color now application it's of two different ways. You can use sieve to apply your color now, but make sure while applying your color now, make sure you apply the correct proportion. And you can also use throwing method. The throwing method is perfect, whereby you throw your color now directly to a particular surface. There are multiple ways to apply your color now. The general guideline for color now is 100 square meter per bag. This depends on the company you are buying the color now from. The description is written normally on the color now. Throw the first color now as per standard procedure. You throw the first color now. This first through covers 70 to 80% of the surface. If you are throwing the first color, make sure it covers 70 to 80% of the surface. No normal face surface this thing is 100%. Your second throw should be on 20%. This is a change in policy. It is easier to throw more color than your first two. Yes, it is easier to throw more color than your first two. By throwing more color than your first two, it will have less concrete shading from beneath. After throwing your color now, the next thing is apply your release agent. You have said it. The work of release agent separates the stamp mat from the concrete. That's the work of release agent. You apply your release agent with brush. You can also throw your release agent as well. You apply your release agent with brush. It's like a powder. Apply the agent for at least 3 rows of the stamp on the stamp mat. You apply the release agent on the stamp mat, and you also apply the release agent on the floor. Never apply release agent until color has been marked floated and then stitcher oil. Do not apply release agent when you have not marked where your color on the surface. After your color has been marked on the surface, that's when you apply your release agent. Do not apply release agent on a wet spot in color now. All this explanation will be done on site as well. Make sure you are not applying your release agents on wet color now. Place the stamp mat and get your tamper ready as well. This is tamper, and this is stamp mat. The pattern of the stamp mat will be created on the concrete as well. Make sure you place your stamp mat correctly on the wet concrete, because any mistake you make cannot be reversed, because you have applied your release agent on the floor. You cannot shine your release agent on the concrete because it will affect the concrete as well. That's why you must make sure your your stamp mat is correctly placed in proportion to each other. The concrete should be then stamped in the same sequence it was placed. Make sure you place your stamp mat in the same sequence. It will follow the pattern stated in your drawing. Stamping elements should be checked regularly. Make sure you are stamping correctly, along with verifying that the correct standard pattern is being followed to ensure a realistic looking outcome for complete analysis. After you place your stamp mat on the thing, and the pattern of the stamp mat will be printed on the stamped concrete, on the concrete you've done. After that, you do your concrete washing and curing. This concrete washing and curing, depending on the thing you are installing, some is 3 days, some is done after 3 days, some after 7 days, some after 21 days, and some after 15 days. And the perfect day is just 7 days. After 7 days of installing your floor, stamping. After your stamping, the 7th day, you go to the site and do your washing. This washing is done to remove the release agents applied on the concrete. This is done to remove the release agent. Wash off excess release agent after 24 hours. This depends on this thing you are doing. But after 24 hours, you can wash. But depending on the floor, some sites they are waterlogged. You have to wait for the concrete to cure as well. By using small capacity pump, soak with water, cover the slab with plastic sheet. This process is done depending on the weather as well. If the weather is really humidified, you have to use your plastic sheet to cover the concrete. Sealing. After you wash, you seal. This seal is done to bring this sealer brings out the shiny features of the concrete. Sealing or polishing. Sealing should be done at least 7 days after concrete. Sealing should be done at least 7 days after concrete. Concrete should be clean and dry. Make sure your concrete is clean and dry. There should be no any moisture present in the concrete slab, because sealer is like it is oily, like glossy material. Actually, they are acrylic sealer, it is glossy material. Make sure there is no contaminant. Make sure there is no water on the surface. For large area sealer should be applied by using pump. That's for large area sealer, but use roller as well. What are the benefits of using stamped concrete to interlock? We have different benefits of using stamped concrete to interlock. Stamped concrete has unlimited design possibility in patterns and color. You can decide the color of your stamped concrete. You can decide the color. You can decide the pattern of the stamped concrete. Interlock cannot be done because it is done based on the company's production. For interlock, you have to buy and install. But for stamped concrete, you can select what you want for the stamped concrete. The excellent longevity and performance. The durability of the stamped concrete is durable. Less maintenance, no algae growth, no weed popping up, no depression due to collapse base. If the base is not well compacted, this thing will collapse. Though these stamped concrete, these are the benefits of stamped concrete to interlock. There's no algae growth, there's no weed growing on the stamped concrete, no depression on the stamped concrete. Ability to customize, I've said that one as well. You can able to customize anything on the stamped concrete because you are dealing with fresh concrete. You can increase anything on the stamped concrete. You can stamp your company logo, favorite pet, and your flower on the floor. Interestingly, you can upgrade an existing ordinary concrete floor or one with interlocking stone to a stamped concrete floor. These are easy processes. You can upgrade any floor you do, any initial floor you have, you can upgrade to any pattern for installing stamped concrete. Okay. So we urge you to come to site because this training is well restricted. I mean, you have to come to site for everything to be done. For you to see everything, how it is done, how everything is made, you have to come to site. For you to see the material we use, the tools we use, the processes on how it is done, you have to come to site.